Oh snap! I almost didn't hit the record button. Nah, I ain't gonna let that happen twice in 1 week. Levi, if you listening, man, you know I'm messing with you. But yo, we about to get started, man. We about to get started, and I'm gonna tell y'all about that little inside joke though, but in a second though. Here. All right, let's go. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, y'all? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations off the timeline and go beyond the tweets. I'm your host, Los Def, and I'm back here solo for episode 126, man. Definitely got to come give y'all some content, running back for y'all. I've been working though, man. I've been doing my thing, man. Y'all know I've been doing a regular weekly Shy recap, separate of the show. So if y'all want to catch that and catch up on the show, so right now is the best time to catch up on the Shy because we just finished. I said we, but me, because I guess I finished it too. But the mid-season finale of season 6, and this is supposed to be the last season. It's supposed to be 16 episodes, so the mid-season finale. So this is a great time to catch up on old episodes, but also catch up on this season, and then catch my recaps. And you could catch the card. I'm gonna put a card up here, so y'all can click on that. I gotta make sure I get that timestamp, whatever. But yeah. So do your thing. Check that out. You know what I mean? It's a lot of good banter, a lot of good insights. I have some predictions, my reactions too. I think people just, if you feel like you need somebody to talk to about that show, and like because nobody watches it with you, whatever, just check out the recap, and then shoot me some comments, some questions, and then I always respond to something. So but yeah, that's dope. And then yeah, man, we're back for recap and record season 2 with my man Levi McCurdy of the What Are We Doing podcast. And we actually just recorded episode 1 of season 2, and we're doing Love Is Blind, right? So it's super excited about doing that, right? We do episodes one through 4. So we I mean, one sitting, we're talking about episodes 1 through 4, reacting to it. We're vibing, man. We're cooking. And then we get to the end of the conversation, and then I think he was about to stop the recording, and he hits the button, and we hear a voice that says recording has just started, and we was like, wait up, you know what I'm saying? So we did it on Zoom, and then there was a little bit of miscommunication, and we did not have the video recorded. We luckily do have audio, so if you want to catch that, there actually is a YouTube link for that, so you can catch the audio. There is a backdrop and like some visuals that are kind of moving around in the background there for you to check out, but it is, yeah, it's just audio though. It's just audio, and we vowed and promised to never let that happen again. And we're not playing no games, and we're both veterans. And that was just like, again, the first thing I said. I almost forgot to hit the record button. I ain't gonna let that happen twice. So we messed up, players mess up, but we do have audio though. So we do have something. And yeah, man, we looking forward to having fun with that. And so yeah, so still dropping the content. Just working, man, just doing what we got to do, man. But today we got a nice episode today. We got some viral things to talk about, obviously some updates, some big updates. Recap. I do have a recap at the end of this, a review and recap of something that is in the culture is going pretty crazy. But let's start off with something, man. We got a couple quick hits, and then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of what we're talking about today. So the first one is a viral moment. So we're gonna check out this little video, but it's about how many of y'all are already know where you gonna bury your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, got cemetery plots and things like that. I'm like, my dad has always said that he wants to be buried in Philadelphia, like, so, and because we have a lot of family that's in a particular cemetery in Philly. So I don't know necessarily what I want to do. I kind of want to be put in a mausoleum though, man. My grandfather was put in a mausoleum, and that just seems fucking gangster. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be buried in the ground. I want people to go inside and, like, whatever. I guess it's still just a casket or whatever, or still just like a door or something like that. But like, it's better than, I don't know. It's like, I don't want the worms eating me, man. Like, I want to be taken care of. You know what I'm saying? So mausoleum might be my jam. However, would you ever skip the cemetery and just just do it at the crib. Just do it in your own backyard. Would you? Does that sound crazy? Is that kind of, weird or whatever? Is that something that you only do with animals? I don't know, but this lady has gone viral for um burying her mother in the backyard. And I'm gonna talk a little bit, and I want some truth to this. I want somebody to demystify this if this is not true. But there's a special perk that you get for doing something like that. All right. So we're gonna share the screen right here in a second here. And make sure we share the sound as well. And then we're gonna watch this video though. So let me share the sound. Here we go. Let me go back. Okay. Let me make this bigger for y'all. And we're gonna optimize this. Hold on. We're gonna optimize this for the video clip. Here we go. So it's gonna take my picture off here. So I'm still talk to y'all, but let's watch. Let's see what they got going on.
I've never had the courage to come back to you. We're all entitled to make a mistake. We got to prepare for some heartbreak. I was earning my man while I was earning my man. Something you young girls might not understand. No pain, no.
All right, so they're saying woman goes viral for burying her mother in her backyard. So do y'all think that's weird? That's crazy? That's anything like that? Do you think it's kind of crazy? One thing I seen somebody say something about this, and they said one of the first comments, the biggest comment said, this is smart. She doesn't have to pay property taxes anymore, right? And then people are chiming in. They're like, yeah, there's a cemetery exemption, right? And then I even seen something about somebody saying that, like, somebody they can't make you leave your home and things like that. So that must be legal in her state. There's also no state prohibiting burial on one's property, although local restrictions may prohibit the practice within city limits. However, you can only obtain property tax relief if the property where the burial will occur is only used for that purpose. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So people are saying that backyard burial could be a tax hack, a woman claims. But they're saying that if, like, you're so this might be a myth. This might be something that's not exactly true. Brittany, what state is it from? I'm curious. I'm just reading some comments here. So it says there's no state. It says you can obtain property tax relief if the property where the burial will occur is only used for that purpose. So yeah, that kind of makes sense. So it kind of intrigued me because one, it's kind of shocking. You know what I mean? It's probably peaceful as heck though. I would think though that you're only doing a small funeral, like a immediate family, if you're doing something like that, and you don't necessarily need the crowd and things like that. It probably saves you a lot of money to do it in this fashion. But yeah, this, if it's called a cemetery tax, tax exemption or something like that, yeah, that would make sense that the property has to be a cemetery. But there's long customs of people burying their loved ones in backyards. In Europe, right, people had vaults, they had catacombs and stuff like that. They had their own catacombs and own tombs where they used to put their family remains. So it's not something that's out of the ordinary. Maybe it's something that is, like I said, beneficial because we're paying, people are going broke. People are doing GoFundMe's to bury their loved ones. So, I think that's something that will be, I don't know, kind of like a little life hack. But that, I don't know, that was something quick that I wanted to quick talk about. Another quick hitter. So yo, I just seen this. So it was on a podcast with Shannon Sharpe. And I don't get me quoting Shannon Sharpe's podcast name or anything like that. But Brittany Renner went on there and she revealed that her body count is 35. Now, I want to know what y'all think about that number, right? First off, let's what you think about that number in regards to Brittany Renner, right? Is that over what you thought? Is that under what you thought, or is that about where you think it is? So if you think it's under what you thought, that means you saying that she had more bodies. If you think it's over, that means you thought she had less. But if you think that's about right, that's probably about right. Now, for me, I think that's probably let's see. I think that's probably about right. I think that's probably about right for her. You know what I'm saying? She's 30 years old though. So, and obviously, people get into those kind of conversations. I ain't gonna lie, man. The body count conversation is always been weird to me, right? Because I come from, you know what I mean? Because like that's something that like entered, I think with the advent of social media or something like and things like that, that is a conversation that kind of entered the chat, so to speak, entered the timeline with a little bit of a younger generation, right? So, and I don't even think they were adults. I think they were like teenagers, and then they grew into adults, already worried about that. Like nobody even said that. Like when I was growing up, nobody was like talking about like that wasn't a. Obviously, you could put the phrase together, body count, but that was not a phrase that people were just throwing around. So, like when people wanted to start to know body counts, whatever, it was like, I don't know, man. I don't think I would want to know whatever. Like, because the body count don't matter until you know the number. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because like you're always gonna feel some type of way, right? Because if it's too little, right? Like, and we're talking about man to woman. Like if it's too little, that probably it might give you an ego boost, right? So it does matter when you know the number, right? It might give you ego boost. It might make you feel that she don't really know what she's missing. Yeah, I mean, it might even give you a false sense of superiority, so to speak. I mean, if you think like you're her best partner and things like that, like if she's only had a small sample size, then it's like, well, what does she know? She don't even know what's good sex and what's not. You know what I mean? Like that type of, like, you have that kind of conversation. But then obviously if it's too high, you know what I mean, you're worried about, her friend, you're worried about yeah, if her body count is too high, you're worried about if she has STDs. You're worried about if you can actually physically satisfy her. You're worried about if she has a lot of casual sex. You're worried about how many boyfriends that she had. You're thinking about, did she cheat on men in between boyfriends? Because a lot of times, man, you meet a girl and there's a lot of women that you could meet at any given time. You can meet, and then they'll be like, they'll tell you that they didn't have sex in 6 months, and you'll be like, okay, like I don't care, like, you know what I mean. If you just don't have sex the night before you, but you know what I mean. See, like I'm on that type of time. Like I don't do that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Too close in proximity to me. Um, Body count though is like I said, like everybody has a different perception of what is acceptable and what's not acceptable. And obviously, men, we don't share our body counts anyway. So it's like it is something that on some, like, fairness, whatever. It's like it's a it's low hanging fruit in terms of if you're trying to get into an argument with a woman or anything like that, or if you're trying to find an excuse to not deal with a woman, body count, it can be low hanging fruit. But it's like it's one of those things where most men ain't about to reciprocate that, and we also feel differently about sex anyway. So like it's just not something that, like, I don't know. I don't share my body count. I don't necessarily know mine. Like I used to know it back in the day, and then you just kind of like, you're like, nah, I'm not keeping track no more. Um, I think it does matter for a woman to keep track though, because again, like if you're talking about if she's promiscuous, right? Like, I mean, or she's had a numerous amount of people, and then she does it in like a close proximity of time. You know what I mean? Obviously, if somebody catches something, then now she got to sift through however many people, which is affects however many other people. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about paternity and there's a question about paternity, now she got to sift through a couple of different guys to see what's going on. Um, I think sexual health is the most important thing. I think sexual health, I think there's two things. So body count might not matter as much, even though there are statistics that talk about pair bonding and things like that. Like, I don't know what to do with those statistics, because I think, when you say what that number is, like, pair bonding is basically like if a woman has, and they're saying it affects women more so. If a woman has over a certain amount of partners, the percentage of her being happy in a marriage are like they fall off the cliff. You know what I'm saying? So like it's a certain number, and they want to be below that. And I think if we perpetuate that, there might be some statistical data like that backs it up, but I still think it's kind of coincidental. It's not necessarily causation. You know what I'm saying? It's correlation, but I don't think it's causation. And it just like I said, it's a slippery slope type of thing. And you're always you're just always gonna feel some type of way. But yeah, I think the two most important things, more than body count, is sexual health, right? Sexual health is very important, but also, um, I guess body count or sex within proximity of you. Like, so has she, I think it's more important, that like I might not need to know her body count or whatever, but I need to know if you've had sex with people that I know, right? So that I know, like, what's the degrees of separation? Like, how do I know these people? Am I friends with these people? Are these people that I'm going to see often, that I'm going to talk to often? That's when it can be a little bit crazy. So like if you would know a woman's body count, um you got to think about that, because women are keeping track of that stuff. Like men, we aren't keeping track of that, because we're not connected to probably like if a man has a high body count, whatever, or if what I mean, just say he slept with, I don't even throw a number out there, because then you're gonna be thinking like, damn, oh yeah, estimating with me. But just say, guy has sex with, a couple dozen women, right? So he's probably not connected to any of those women. You know what I'm saying? At all. Like he might, like, the connection to that is whatever. A woman, right? Because she has to feel like she does have to kind of keep track of her own body count. I think it's good for yourself, but she has to keep track of that. And then she is always forever connected to that, because like she has to remember her body count, right? You know what I mean? For these conversations and other things, whatever. So she's always going to be tied to these men in some type of way, like mentally, physically, right? And men don't have the same. I just don't think men have that same kind of like, we kind of can turn that off a little bit. But the problem is that, like, if you're out and about and you keep running into people, and she tells you that she dated such and such, and then like, all right, so then every encounter, or if she knows any man, or she talked to any man, you're gonna assume, if the body count is high, you're gonna assume that like every one of these men that she says she's done something with, right? And obviously I think that matters more in smaller towns and smaller cities. If you're in a big city, you just probably won't know the people anyway. However, I think in big cities, depending on what kind of niche group friends and stuff like that, there are people that claim that these big cities are small. They're like, oh, these cities are small. And I think it's just because of the worlds that they kind of roll in. But I don't know, for Brittany Renner, I think it makes sense for her. But yeah, like, and she's around a lot of different people. Most of these guys are probably celebrities or in the industry in some way, shape, or form. And so the industry itself is small. Like, we know a lot of celebrities, and think about all facets of the industry. Like, we talking about sports, we talking about TV, music, modeling, whatever. Although those are big careers and there's a lot of people, it's still small, because most of us are the consumers of that stuff. We don't even get access to people like that. So like, I don't even necessarily have an opinion, because I know about Brittany Renner. Like, she's been transparent about who she is. So like, we know her attitude, whatever. Do I put any more judgment on her based on her body count? No, I think her body count kind of makes sense for her, and I'm not checking for her anyway. She's not checking for me. So I don't have a deeper dive on that. But like, if I knew a woman that had 30, I live in a smaller area. So like, if I knew a woman and I knew that she slept with 35 men, that's a lot of men. Like, that's a lot of men, because it's like, I'm definitely gonna see 30. I'm gonna see these people, or you're gonna see the friends of them people, or something like that. So like, I don't know. I think it all depends on where you're at, and a couple other factors. But yeah, that's what it is though. So moving on, because I don't know. Body counts it's weird. It's a weird thing. Just worry about if she's safe, and she ain't fuck your homie, man. Like I think that's the most, or your relatives. You know what I mean? I think that's the most important thing. But um, moving on, though, moving on. So we are going to talk a little bit about sports because of what's kind of happening here. This is another quick hitter. And this is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. So I've been seeing a couple different things. And then I actually just read this little thing that talked about a timeline of like when they started trying to talk to each other and things like that. And when did it all start? So basically, the timeline is that it started on July 26th. July 26th. So Travis Kelce went to one of her concerts and he wanted to meet her and he couldn't meet her. So he goes on his podcast with his brother and he kind of mentions that, hey, I wanted to give her one. Like, so there's this thing, they give out these friendship bracelets at these Taylor Swift concerts. And he said he wanted to give her one with his number on it. So his brother was like, well, what number are you talking about? And he was like, man, you know which one it is. And so, you know what I mean? It was kind of like him shooting his shot. She didn't want to see him because she doesn't talk to people after or before the shows because she got to preserve her voice. And so she never met him, and he said he took it personal. So that was the first little encounter. So July 26th. Then it's not until September 14th. It says basically Jason Kelce was asked by other reporters, like news, sports guys, whatever, about his brother and if he's dating, because there's been rumors that they're connected somehow. And then he just basically like kind of chalked it up. The brother Jason was like, that's not my business. Yeah, I mean, he gonna have fun with whoever he ends up with. And then September 17th, he missed the game. Travis Kelce missed the game, and then there was like some type of subliminal about Taylor Swift and a lyric, something called Blank Space, I guess, because he didn't play in that game. It was like it was like a blank space on the field or something like that. I don't know, some type of symbolic thing. And then and then September 21st is when he invites her. I guess he invites her. He sends an invitation. He talks about it on the podcast. He sends an invitation for Taylor Swift to come to a game. And then we see her in the stands on Sunday, and he's, she's sitting with his mom. She's in the suite, and they're kind of hitting it off. So one thing I guess to know is like they're even if this started July 26th and him just expressing that he likes her, they're not in any kind of serious relationship. So I think they're kind of friends right now. There's been a lot of criticism though. People are like, "Oh, it's a downgrade." Like he went from, he was with a black woman, and I don't know if it was directly for this or whatever, but like, there's been a lot of talk of like, and they show him side by side pictures. He's like, "How you go from this to Taylor Swift, whatever?" And I don't personally hate Taylor Swift. I don't know much about her. Actually, I like her because she's from Pennsylvania. She's from Reading, Pennsylvania. Like, if y'all know Reading, Reading is the gutter. You know what I'm saying? Now, I doubt she lived in the gutter. She probably went to like Wilson High School or Muhlenberg or something like that. Like she probably went somewhere really nice, whatever. But she's from Reading, PA. Like shout out to her. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I don't have no hate for her. I don't have no, you know what I mean? And then people were like, "Oh, that's a downgrade." And then people were like, "No, that's an upgrade. Like she's a billionaire." And I'm thinking like, first off, Travis Kelce is a millionaire himself. He don't need her money. Like, I think that's the last thing he's worried about is her money, right? And I don't know. Like, I think it's more than just being about money, but then it's also more than just being about, I guess, looks, whatever. Like maybe he likes her. Like maybe he just likes her. It does look away because she went to the game, she dressed up. I think she went as a friend, but like she's already meeting his mom. So like and I think this is where we get mixed up too. Like, I think when you're in a celebrity, I don't know what their relationship is, but I think they have to have these like super accelerated relationships. Like that's why they end so fast, whatever, because they're constantly in the spotlight and it's just getting really hectic for them. And like I think you probably do meet parents probably before you normally would in a regular relationship because they might not have that much time with each other anyway. Like they maximize the time that they have. So she's seen with him, seen with his mom. Everything's good. People are criticizing Travis Kelce's new look. He cut off the beard. He's just rocking a mustache, looking like a cop. That's kind of weird. And And what else happened? What else? Travis has expressed that like his life is a little bit different. It's like paparazzi now outside of his house, and like football players don't really experience that unless they're like committed a crime and they're like the headline news or something like that. Like they don't, I mean, they don't really go viral or like that, whatever. So, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. That was an interesting thing that kind of happened. But we'll see. We'll see where their relationship goes. I think it's a nice thing. If he wants to be with Taylor Swift, man, then shout out to him for being with Taylor Swift. I don't think it's a bad look either way. So moving on. All right. So we got another headline though. And this one is about we're gonna switch it up though. We're gonna talk a little bit about money. Um, and yeah, man, I think I got a little bit of an opinion on this, right? And just I wonder how people get through this. And I have my solution, I'll tell you that. But all right. So it says the headline is IRS to tax people who resell concert tickets. Woo, man. Shout out to the IRS, man. Get these ticket resellers the fuck out of here, man. Like, get them the fuck out of here. Like, this is crazy. We're gonna talk about we're gonna read this article a little bit or this blog, and we're gonna kind of talk about it and react to this. But yeah, IRS don't do much good, whatever. But like deciding to tax people that resell tickets, we're gonna see what kind of an impact that has. And but let's read it though. It says a new IRS law will target ticket resellers who make over $600 from high profile events. So it says, so for this blog that says, it will require companies like Ticketmaster and StubHub to report such sales in 2023, replacing the previous $20,000 threshold for reporting. So back before, you would only need to report profits if you got up to $20,000. Now you got to report profits up to $600. It says the revised law, an American Rescue Plan Act component, requires resellers to pay taxes on their profits. Payment apps and online marketplaces are required to file Form 1099-K if the gross payments to you for goods and services are over $600, said the IRS. Says the $600 reporting threshold started with the tax year 2023. There are no changes to what counts as income or how tax is calculated. And it says in response, this is in response to fans' dismay over scalpers driving up ticket prices for tours by artists like Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Drake, and 21 Savage. The IRS has introduced a new law to address the issue of high resale ticket prices. So, yeah, man, it does get crazy with the selling, like the reselling of tickets, and like a couple of those people's concerts were exorbitantly expensive, and the rule of thumb always used to be to get the tickets early to get the best price. So what was happening with some of these concerts was that people were they do these weird releases with these concert tickets, like Live Nation. They'll have these like special, they build up all this anticipation, which is working on a marketing standpoint. It's working. However, people are logging, like they're figuring out ways to get more than the tickets they need, or they're not even necessarily going to the show. They're just buying up tickets to things that they think are popular. And then they from the gate, they were reselling, and it was crazy. And then people were getting actually cheaper tickets last minute. And normally, yes, it does, like sporting events, that happens the opposite way. But I've always seen with concerts, if you waited, the ticket price goes up because there would always be a lot of tickets that didn't sell that were expensive, and then like a lot of times that price kind of goes up. Anyway, it says fans were disappointed as resellers drove up ticket sales for concerts by Beyonce, Taylor Swift, and Drake, and 21 Savage. Resale prices reached 1,000. It's basically almost $1,100 for Swift, up to $900 for Beyonce, and up to over $800 for Drake and 21 Savage. So that's over the ticket rate. So like maybe a ticket's supposed to cost like $300. So for a $300 ticket at a Taylor Swift concert was costing you $1,400. You know what I mean? A $300 ticket was costing you $1,200 for a Beyonce concert. You know, it's cost you $1,100 for a Drake and 21 Savage concert. And like that's not right. It's not fair. It's not right. I wonder though what the tax, like if the tax will do much though. Like I know it'll be a little bit of a hassle and people want to avoid that, but people be scamming. And you know what? We always call them scalpers. See, scalpers I always looked at a scalper as somebody that's selling you fake tickets, whatever. But yeah, no, I guess there are real. I mean, people are selling legitimate tickets. Scalpers are, but like it's weird to look at a like an online transaction and like these are you're calling them scalpers. Like it's just wild. So, what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? I'm supposed to be going to a Travis Scott concert in December. I'm pretty sure that's on, and we going. And the solution is though, like when the tickets are crazy and like that, whatever, you need to have one friend that's kind of like the designated concert ticket buyer, whatever, and then you pay that person, right? Well, my best friend, that's really the only time he comes out the house is when he's about to go to a concert. And yeah, like he be on it. Like he texts me all the time. Like I don't know what that must be his hobby is to look up concerts because I get so many concert requests every couple months, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And he's like, yo, you want to go here? You want to go here? And he'll get it. If we say yes, he'll get the tickets and or if I see a show that I'm thinking of and I'll be like, yo, can you check that out? And he'll be like, all right, yeah, let's do it. And he'll foot the bill and then we kind of just pay him. When I say we, it's like me and his brother. So and those dudes is like my brother. So like it ain't nothing. But yeah, you need to have a designated person in your group of friends that is kind of in charge of that part of it, like getting tickets and figuring it out, whatever. So it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody to do. So moving on. So all right. Oh man, we had a tough weekend, man. Tough weekend, tough sledding, man. We're gonna talk about Coach Prime. We're gonna talk about Coach Prime and Colorado Buffaloes. And over the past weekend, they suffered their first loss, right? So they came into the game 3-0. And if you saw my recap of them, and I was basically like 6 or 7 of their 9 opponents after their 3-0 start were going to be against ranked teams. So they're running into a buzzsaw, and they ran into Oregon, who was ranked number 10. And then this week they have USC. So back-to-back hard games. And man, Oregon blew them out. Like they shut them out. Last time I checked, the score was 42-0. But let's see. Let me just double check real quick. What was that final score? Let's see. Colorado, Oregon. Okay, 42-6. The final score was 42-6. All right, so they scored something there. All right. Oregon did not score in the fourth quarter. They probably were just putting in backups and things like that. So yeah, and it looks like Colorado is no longer ranked. So that's kind of strange. I mean, but one loss and then they lose their top 25 ranking, but we'll see. So yeah, that was man, Oregon showed that there's levels, you know what I mean? And it's not necessarily about coaching. You know what I mean? They are on a different level of team. Like Colorado has not done anything in years. This is Coach Prime's first year at the Power 5 level. So, you know, a lot of people had low expectations to begin with. I still believe in Coach Prime. I think he's still going to do great things. And it's one loss. And we knew that playing against a good opponent was going to be challenging for them. But this is what I don't want to do, though. I don't want to create conspiracies, whatever, but we can talk about people's thoughts about this. And then we could react to it, whatever. So, real quick. So Keyshawn Johnson, is on record. He's saying Keyshawn Johnson Keyshawn Johnson alleges Oregon received outside help to play in for Colorado game, right? So Keyshawn Johnson is saying that the Oregon was, you know, the coaches and scouts, and he's never seen basically any team get as much outside help to help them game plan for another team. Now, here's the thing, man. If you beat somebody 42-6, 42-0, really, there ain't no amount of game plan that's gonna get you a win like that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you didn't need it then. You know what I mean? At that point. And that's what I'm saying. Like maybe, of course, I think there's always you're always game planning and footage is everywhere. So like that's where it's like it's kind of hard to say that like oh like extra help to help. Footage is everywhere. Like they have, I mean, there's cameras everywhere. Everybody's recording something. So it's not really an accurate thing to say like, oh, somebody was spying or giving help. Um, so I don't know. I think that's a cute thing for Keyshawn to say. I mean, and obviously big fan of Prime and their friends and things like that. But I don't see that. That's not gonna lead to the 42-0, lead through three quarters. Cause that's what I mean, even most of the fourth quarter, they was probably up by that much. So that didn't get them 42 points and kept them, kept Colorado at 6, whatever. Like that's more than game planning. That's players. I mean, and Dion doesn't necessarily have, I think he has good players, but I don't think he has, it's 1 year, right? And he had to get a lot of his guys on the portal. It takes time to develop your team in college football. And you have to recruit heavy, and that takes some years, whatever. And I mean, they are expecting his son to come back next year. So like we know that we at least got Prime for 2 seasons before he takes that NFL job. I mean, obviously, but no, just playing. But yeah, so I don't know. I just can't see it being something that really happened, like in terms of like actual game planning and being super beneficial to them. I just don't see that being too plausible. So but yeah, that's that on that, man. But yeah, man, we still believe in Coach Prime. I think his team still ends off with a winning record. I think they will beat a ranked opponent later on this year. It's just these back-to-back weeks, like playing, number 9 and playing 2 teams in the top 10 back to back. They got chalked them losses. Those are good losses. It's weird though, because the way college football works, though, those are good losses though. Like losing to a bad team is when it's a bad loss. Losing to a good team kind of helps. It helps to bolster your resume. Like, yo, you had a tougher schedule and things like that. So, all right, I gotta get some water for this. I gotta take a little sip of water for this, man. I gotta take a little sip of water for this. So, all right. All right. It's the main event. It's the main event, yo. Now, woo, I'm happy. I'm so happy. I'm relieved to be talking about this. Especially knowing the outcome. So Eazy the Block Geechi Gotti versus Eazy the Block Captain. So that happened. And everybody's been talking about it. So it actually happened a couple weeks ago, but it just dropped on Chrome 23. So if you go to Chrome 23, their YouTube channel, go there. I might even put a card for this battle at the top here. Like, so you might be able to see it at the top here, so y'all could kind of click. Like maybe it's nothing up there, but maybe there will be some up there. Again, if I get my timestamps right. But hey yo, Geechi Gotti versus Eazy the Block Captain. Now, I don't like, battle like this. I know it's not URL. I like to watch something like this live, but Chrome 23, they only do pay-per-views. They do sell some type of video on demand type system that, some app or website that you can get on. But I wasn't trying to pay for the battle, right? So, I ain't gonna lie, like Eazy the Block Captain comes into this battle. You know what I mean? I talked about him earlier this year. It felt like he's unstoppable. It felt like he's not gonna lose. Like he is in such a zone that like and he was getting he had to face some killers. He faced a lot of killers out there and beat most of them, if not all of them. And definitely came into this. I said earlier this year, he's the best battle rapper. He is pound for pound the best battle rapper right now. I mean, he beat Hitman Holla, right? And it just kind of like, his status just keeps rising. His status keeps rising, right? So Geechi Gotti now. Geechi Gotti, y'all know that's my favorite battle rapper. You know what I mean? So I do have a little bit of a bias for him. I do try to keep it objective. But Geechi Gotti, man, you know what I mean? 3-time champion of the year. I guess won it last time in 2021. 2020, is it for the 22? He brought it home in 22, but it was for the 21 season, so to speak, whatever. So and Rum Nitty won it last year. So 3-time champion of the year, and in 20 that wasn't even this year. That was in 2022. 2022, he had such an up and down year, right? And then 2023, Geechi was not really making too many appearances. So like he was doing some smaller battles and things like that. But he didn't do any URL battles up until Gnome Impact, right? So they had Gnome Impact, and it was the 2-on-2. And they announced his partner because a lot of times is if he's gonna have a partner, we seen him teaming up with Swamp, but you'll see him team up with Nitty. Yeah, typically Nitty, right? I've seen him team up with B Dot, which I need to see B Dot on the stage pretty soon. But no, it was him and Tay Rock versus Nitty and Twerk. And I think it was a clear win for Tay Rock and Geechi. And this Geechi, I don't know if Tay Rock just kind of reinvigorated him or something like that, but like whatever that was, whatever that magic was that they kind of harnessed, whatever, Geechi is still kind of holding on to that, whatever, and he's doing well. I mean, he's doing his thing, his battles and whatnot, right? So him versus Eazy the Block Captain, I was nervous because I'm like, damn man, like I don't want my guy to lose, because you know what I mean, people are they're not saying he fell off, whatever, but like he's in a weird middle ground right now. Like people ain't fucking with him, but people ain't talking too crazy. He's a personality too, though, so like he's not getting no hate necessarily, but it's still not necessarily, you know, the Geechi hype and the Geechi praise that we're used to seeing, right? So, um, so he goes against Eazy the Block Captain, Chrome 23. And the great thing about this battle is that what it did was it transcended the events that happened in this battle, transcended battle rap, right? And hit the mainstream when we talk about the culture, right? We're talking about Black entertainment, the blog sites, the gossip sites, and things like that. People were talking about this because there's a relationship element. So a couple months ago, people don't know this if you're not a part of battle rap, it was alleged that at one of the Chrome 23 events, and Chrome 23 is a battle league that Remy Ma has started, right? She started her own battle league, and Eazy the Block Captain was the top. It was probably, right, the hottest battle rapper in the Ultimate Rap League, URL. Well, something happened. He wanted to do an event, and a lot of times these guys can do events, but sometimes they can't do events. He does this event. Smack tried to do some things to kind of block it, I think that's what they were saying, and then basically it created a feud, and then he got, then they charged for they did a VOD, or they did something with the Hitman Holla battle, and they made a lot of money from it. And it kind of blew up her league was like kind of on, like, oh, now people are recognize it, and he kind of became the face of her league, so to speak, and he's not battling on URL anymore. So then there's that conflict as well. But at one of the events, it was alleged that Papoose knocked Eazy the Block Captain out, smacked him something. He did something to him. They had an altercation, and it had to do with allegedly Eazy the Block Captain messing with Remy Ma, Remy Ma cheating on her husband with Eazy the Block Captain. So that's what's going in, and everybody knows that Geechi is gonna be disrespectful. They know that he's gonna say something crazy, and a lot of the reaction was favorable for Geechi, whatever, which made me feel good. But at the same time, I had to watch it for myself. Like, I'm like, I can't just go off of what people were saying. I didn't know anybody that had a bootleg stream or anything like that, so I had to wait for the YouTube drop. So it came out, and man, wow. I think Geechi put on a performance. I don't even think this was the best Geechi, but Geechi's third round was really good Geechi. I think there's a lot of things that kind of came to play here, whatever. But one of the things that they talk about is an NDA, right? NDA, right? So Geechi, you know what I mean, he spends the third round, and I'm just gonna kind of touch on this, whatever, because this really stood out. And so he's talking about, the alleged, relationship or whatever, the tryst, whatever they had. And he said that they made me sign an NDA, and he was like, well, why would you have to sign it? Like, as part of his battle, he's like, why would you have to sign an NDA if nothing happened, whatever? And then basically he made a line where he said NDA should stand for nigga duck at least, whatever. So like, because Geechi was honing in on the fact that Papoose smacked the shit out of this dude, right? So that's what I'm saying. It is the first clear loss for Eazy the Block Captain in over 2 years at least. You know what I'm saying? First clear loss. And there's a couple reasons why this is his first clear loss. There's a couple reasons. It's not a fluke. It's really like the last 3 years, like he's been hot, but it's not a fluke that um that Geechi won, or that, you know what I mean, it's I'm gonna say it's like a 3-0 or anything like that. With Eazy the Block Captain, you can already see it's kind of a home matchup for him. It's Camden, New Jersey. He's from Philly, right? But yeah, you definitely see Eazy the Block Captain's demeanor was a little bit different. He didn't have the same amount of crowd control that he normally has. All right. Um, One thing I would say is that like he took some of the weakest angles to Geechi, whatever. Like he did an angle where he was trying to like make fun of his name and say like, "Oh, who the hell is Geechi Gotti?" He did a whole angle on that, and it didn't land. Like it was like, bro, like nah, that didn't land. He did an angle, try to say something about his, domestic, not violence, but he tried to say something about like custody and things like that. That didn't really land. So like I think that he had his weakest angles like that I've ever seen him take, whatever. And then I would just say overall, he didn't do a bad job necessarily. Like I don't think I don't want to say that what he said could beat anybody else. And I definitely want to say that what he had could beat Geechi on another day or anything like that. But I just feel like his material just didn't land. I mean, like I said, the angles that he was choosing, and Eazy was not doing what he normally does. Like his, when I say his demeanor, like his bark wasn't there like it normally is. You know what I'm saying? His energy wasn't there the way it is, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And this is not to take away from Geechi at all. Like I don't want to say that because Eazy the Block Captain thought he was on a high, whatever. He thought he was killing it. He thought he was killing it. And then Geechi goes second. And because Eazy the Block Captain started the battle, he didn't even let the coin toss. So he starts rapping, and that was probably his biggest mistake. Like that was the first thing that he did wrong. He probably should have let Geechi go first. And obviously if he won the toss or lost the toss, whatever. So I think going first kind of fucked him up a little bit. But he had crazy energy. But then when Geechi would go, Geechi was debunking a lot of the stuff that Eazy was trying to say. Eazy the Block Captain opened it up with like he opened up the floodgates basically and made like a hypothetical situation like, and he tried to make it a bar. Like he tried to make it like, well, you know, um he slapped me, this and that, whatever. Well, you know what I mean, if he slapped me, it's because I still got his girl. Like he was saying something about that. Like he made a hypothetical which kind of opened the door for us to believe that he did actually do something with Remy Ma. And then he even though he should have tried to debunk it, he tried to do the be rabbit thing where you talk about yourself, so like you disarm your opponent. But it didn't disarm Geechi. It just made everything that Geechi said, it made it feel more true. It made it feel everything. And I think that like Eazy couldn't talk to Geechi the way that he talks to other people, and it's because of the material that he chose to do, right? But yeah, so Geechi kind of comes in, and like I feel like he just, a lot of people were saying like he edged the rounds, whatever. And yeah, and I think you have to say that because he did turn up the intensity in every round. And I think he had some of his bombs, some of his haymakers were just bigger. It felt choppy though. I felt choppy on both sides, whatever. But and Geechi's kind of felt choppy, but it was the reactions. Like he was getting reactions. Like I mean, he had to pause, whatever. But Geechi had full control of that battle throughout. And then the second round was the weirdest round I've ever heard from Eazy the Block Captain. And here's the thing with Geechi Gotti, you can't really talk about his street stuff. Like I just don't think that shit don't work. Like the what kind of worked was when Goods was like not talking about like how not gangster he is. He made the angle of like, yo, I get money and you need to get out the streets. Like that's no, I mean, which that's not necessarily gonna work all the time either. But it's better angle than trying to, yeah. People kept saying like they called him a chatty patty because Eazy the Block Captain kept like saying weird stuff. Like some of the angles that he was taking was just not good. And then Geechi had rebuttals for his stuff, and then Easy would kind of like try to like talk through his round and things like that. But like I felt like Geechi was talking to his soul, but like I think what would have been a winning formula for Easy was to really talk about he could have talked about Geechi's he could have made his decline. Like if people think that Geechi is on a decline, he should have exacerbated that. Like he should have talked about that, and like because he had like one or two lines where it made it seem like all right, he's talking about all right, Geechi not that nice and things like that, and then he wouldn't stay there. Like he would kind of move on, and I'm like, all right, you gave us a little bar, a little taste of how you feel about him, but you not really closing the coffin on him. um yeah, like it was a lot of angles that was it wasn't hitting, and then you realize like yeah, he had nothing to say. He had nothing to say about Geechi Gotti. Like he just didn't have any material for him. At the end of the day, like I just don't the material they did have, it just wasn't strong enough, whatever. And yeah, man, Geechi did his thing in the second round, the rebuttaling, and then the third round he went crazy. Like I don't think anybody remembers anything that Easy said in that third round because Geechi basically, I mean, he kind of exposed he exposed something. I guess he said whatever he could legally say because if he did sign the NDA, he said enough. And you know what? If he wouldn't have signed the NDA, they probably wouldn't have had that battle. But he spends like about like 3 to 4, like just in real time. It was like probably like 3 minutes, 4 minutes maybe, and like just kind of talking to Remy Ma. He was like really, really talking to her, like cussing out. And the thing is, a lot of times when a battle rapper does that and they start to focus on somebody else, it kind of takes away from the bars. Well, it's because like he's only talking to her because of this man, right? And what they kind of caused and the problems that they may have arise. Like so, it was still about Easy the whole time. And like a lot of people noticed, man, Eazy the Block Captain's demeanor was just down, like his body language, everything. Everybody, you could just tell, like the whole room felt like Geechi won. And I don't even think this is the best Geechi. And the thing is, I don't think that was not the best Eazy the Block Captain. And it's not to take away from Geechi, but I think Geechi is the reason why we didn't see the best Eazy the Block Captain. I think the stuff that Geechi was saying to Easy was really hitting Easy, and it put him in an uncomfortable, like put him in an uncomfortable bag, and he never could get out of that. He could never get out of his rut. All right, whatever he was doing. Now, like I said, reactions, I mean, make kind of exacerbate and make the the battle seem longer. It makes the round seem longer. I mean, that's just a part of the game, whatever. So, like, if you watch it, I mean, there's like, they're taking pauses and things like that. They're running bars back and things like that. That happens. I mean, but in terms of the material itself, in terms of what Geechi was saying versus what he was saying, plus the story and Geechi really putting a bow on that story, and he just took perfect angles on Easy, and it hit, man. It landed, and Geechi, man, gets a 3-0. And it looks like the next battle for Easy Block Captain might be Tay-Rock, right? Where will we get that battle? Are we going to get on Chrome 23? Probably, but I think people want to see it on URL. I mean, Tay-Rock is allowed to move around a little bit, but I think we definitely want to see that on URL. Return to Easy. I don't know what that's going to look like because he's been talking crazy about Smack. So we don't know, man. We'll see. But what did y'all think, man? Did y'all see that battle? What did y'all think of that battle? Did y'all agree, man? I got Geechi 3-0. I got Geechi 3-0. They're saying that the first is the most debate, like is the closest round. And you know what? I didn't like half of Easy's material. Like he had like two lines in there that like he had two bombs on there that was like good. But like I thought there was gas. Like the beginning part was gas. Like it was just all gas. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, whatever. And I'm not taking that away from him, but like he didn't have the moments, man. I think Geechi's moments were just bigger, even in round one. Even in round one. Round two was Eazy's worst round that I've ever heard him rap. Worst round I ever heard him rap. Third round was good, but it clearly wasn't better than Geechi. So like you got a debatable first to some people. You got your worst bars that you ever made, you know what I mean, in a battle rap. And then you got Geechi leaving Earth on you in the third round. So Geechi got the TKO, man. I mean, might not have got him, knocked him out right away, one punch or nothing like that, but he got him with the TKO. He worked him down and got him the fuck out of here. And we'll see, man. We'll see what's next for Geechi. I obviously going back to the URL. I think he has a King of the Dot battle at the end of September, and then we'll see him back probably URL. I don't even know who I want to see Geechi battle. Like I don't even know, because that was the battle. That was the battle. Like he needed to battle. He needed to battle Eazy the Block Captain. That was like the only like young guy that he needed to battle. Obviously they could set up matchups with people like Fonz would be a good battle. Him and Fonz would be a good battle. I think, Kid Chaos is not on that level yet. Real sick versus Geechi would probably be a little bit interesting. Fonz, Solar Flare would be interesting. I would think. Other than that, yeah, I don't know. I don't know who else you can really get to battle Geechi right now. There's people that he hasn't battled, but I don't know. I would like to see DNA versus Eazy. I would like to see Eazy versus Tay Rock. He definitely has some battles that he needs to get off his chest, whatever. So, but what y'all think, man? What y'all think? Yeah, man. So if y'all still watching the episode, I need y'all to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. One last thing, though, a fight this weekend, man. Charlo versus Canelo. I gotta go for the brother, man. I'm going. Canelo is a beast. I mean, he's big, he's powerful. Charlo is a beast. He's big and he's powerful, right? So, but I'm gonna go with the brother, man. And yeah, man. Shout out to Charlo. Hopefully he gets that win, becomes the undisputed in that middleweight class and things like that. So, what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? Who y'all got in that fight this weekend? Who y'all got in that fight? I have not missed a fight yet this year because of illegal streaming. So shout out to illegal streaming. I'm not going to tell you what site I use because I don't want them to get shut down. But I have not missed a big fight this year. I seen the Tank fight. I seen the Haney fight. I seen who else just fought? Who fought? I felt Haney fought. There was somebody after Haney. Oh, Crawford. I seen the Crawford fight. Those are the three biggest fights this year. Yeah, Tank, Garcia. Obviously, yeah, Tank Garcia, Haney, Loma, and then Crawford and the boy, Crawford and Spence, whatever. Yeah, Crawford and Spence. Yeah, those are the biggest fights this year. I haven't missed a fight yet, so this will be number 4 for the year. And hopefully, man, we get a good one. But I'm going for Charlo, man. I'm going for Charlo. So, but yeah, again, if you're still watching the channel, I need you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Again, we're on our quest to 1,000 subscribers. Let's help us out there, man. We have 741 as of this recording. So let's get, hopefully, man, by the end of this week, we can get up to 750. So, all right, man. I love y'all. Y'all have a good night, man. And this is your boy, Los from the Twitty Plus podcast. I'm out. Peace.